2025 is the year of AI agents. And you might hear nowadays all over the internet terms like agentic architecture, multi-agent systems, or even like AI design patterns and so. And regarding these two, agentic architecture and multi-agent systems, you might wonder if they are the same or not. And if so, what are the differences between them? And today we are going to explore both of them. We are going here to do an analysis on our own so that we can understand better the difference between the two of them. Let's go. So let's start with multi-agent systems. And the reason for that is because multi-agent systems was something that was adopted way before this new era of Gen AI. And it was adopted in the 70s when computer science started evolving and there were initial discussions, for example, on AI, but also on distributed systems. So the needs and the requirements to build systems started to become more complex. And with that, there started to appear the need of having different small parts of the systems connecting with each other in a controlled way, for example, for industrialization or for robotics. And in this case, there was the need of organizing a way for the different parts to talk with each other. And so this term and this concept of an agent appeared, where, if you wonder, there is not so much of a relation with an AI agent, except the part of AI. Because if we remove the part of AI, the definition of an agent, back in those days and even nowadays, an agent is an autonomous entity that can read from the environment. He can make decisions upon that and take actions. So these three variables we are talking about, reading the environment, making decisions, and taking actions, we hear them a lot nowadays when there is this discussion of AI agents, but they are not from the part of AI. They are from the part of agents. And this is a very important thing because this means that multi-agent systems do not need to always have AI. So you might wonder, if multi-agent systems are not related with AI, or if agents are not related with AI, why there is so much this discussion around it? And the fact that we can nowadays have an AI as an agent, it means that we simply took the multi-agent systems into a next level. Because before this concept of introducing AI, we only had two different agents in multi-agent systems. We had autonomous agents and we had human agents. So when there was a complex system in some industry, in robotics, for example, you could have some tasks being performed by robots, other tasks being performed by autonomous algorithms, the two of them being the same code, and then you could have other tasks being done by humans, for example, validations, or tasks that were so complex that it was hard for the machine to make them. So every time we are talking about tasks that require more context adaptation, more creativity, those were the ones that belong to humans. With this era of Gen AI, what happened is that AI started to go more into the side of humans, into replacing the tasks that require context adaptation or creativity or flexibility. And with what it means now with this new era is that multi-agent systems, they now have a new dimension of agent that they can use on the systems. So right now we have the humans, we have the autonomous code, and we have the AI agents. So we could start exploring more about these multi-agent systems, right? And how can we build them? But let's leave this for another video, because right now I want to talk about this second part, the agentic architecture. And to explain this, I need to go back a bit in terms of AI models and AI agents. Back in the days when OpenAI introduced his first model, the GPT model, if you remember, that model was very simplistic. You would have a sort of a chat, you would talk with the chat, and he would reply back to you. So there wasn't much that he could do besides that. And if we look into what we just define as an agent in a multi-agent system, that model, the initial GPT model, he could make decisions. Yeah, we could talk with him and he could give us the decisions, but he could not read from the environment nor take actions upon them. So there was this limitation of being a sort of a black box or something close to the outside. And the moment that the different industries start introducing tools, start introducing ways for the models to also get information from the outside and give actions or give information to the outside, that moment on, it started to transit from a typical model to an AI agent. And in this case, AI, because it uses a model always, it has an LLM model or other type of language model, but it has this AI part, and then it has the agent because he can read upon the environment, make decisions, and take actions. So we started to have this concept of AI agents. But for me, in my personal opinion, there is also another important characteristic of an AI agent. There is the fact that an AI agent has a role. He has a purpose. So when you create an AI agent, you are creating someone, or you are creating part of a system that has a purpose, right? If you want him to read emails, to reply to emails, if you want him to set calendar events, or if you want him to check the weather, buy a ticket for the cinema. So all these actions that you are giving a purpose for this agent to exist. And I think that it makes a huge difference when looking into models, because we were talking more of generic, static parts of code that you could simply ask something and retrieve it. And now we are talking of agents that have a purpose. So they are more close, they are starting to become more close to a human agent. So we have an agent, an AI agent, right? And as we discussed, an AI agent can, inside of him, he can have a very different design. Because, like people, depending on the job on the purpose that agent has, he can have a different design inside of him. It's not mandatory that all AI agents have memory, can call a RAG system, can call APIs, can fetch data from environments. That is not mandatory. It needs to have the capacity in case we want to design one. But we should try to simplify as much as possible when building an agent. And you might see nowadays in LinkedIn, all over the internet, there are different schemas of how we can design an agent. So in this case, there are different ways of specifying an agent architecture. And when we start discussing agentic architecture, that is part of what we are talking. So we are not talking about the full multi-agent system and how the different parts of that system and the different agents integrate with each other. So we are not only specifying that, and we can even discuss if it's a part or not of the scope of an agentic architecture, but the agentic architecture focus more on designing the agent. How can we build that close entity and give him the tools that are necessary for him to do his job? That's agentic design. That's an agentic system. And yes, of course, that sometimes when we have a task that is so complex to perform it, we cannot do it only using an agent with his tools. Sometimes we need them to break. We need to create a sequential action or a parallel or other types of agent. And we have other videos that talk about that. But the main concept here is that agentic architecture embraces more the part of designing AI agents and defining their tools, their capabilities. But the multi-agent system, it's a way back architecture pattern that it does not mean by rule that it has AI agents. But nowadays, we took the multi-agent system into a next level. So that is the reason why it is so discussed nowadays. So I hope I could help understanding this both situations, because there might be a gray area between the two of them, mostly in the part of having agents integrating and working together with each other. Is this a multi-agent system or is this an agentic architecture? Can be discussed. But I think that the most important part to retain here is that a multi-agent system is the architecture of having different agents talking and working together to achieve a purpose. And agentic architecture is the architecture and the design of a certain agent so that he can achieve the purpose that he was meant to do. And these are the two differences between these two terms. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I will do others regarding other topics, but always about the AI world. So if you like this content and you want to explore more topics beside this one, follow me to these next days, weeks. We will going to do this together. See you.